Thank you, Hamashiach, for your last words. Do not add or take away from your book your words. So, very important. If you add anything, you're going to mess it up. Simple things like messing up one letter can have your name blotted out, or period, or jot, or yod, or tittle, or any one of these things. Whatever dialect is, whatever glossa you speak. So, thank you for that, because I know that people mess up the word all the time, and that makes them a false teacher if they go out and mess up, tell anybody anything about the word. I've made that mistake myself, so I won't make that again. Thank you for rebuking my heart and calling out to me to seek the aletheia through definition. And so, thanks for coming in. Much deception going on. If you deceive one, remember he said if you change the very last thing, it was just giving thanks to Shiloh for telling us don't add or take away from my book. And if you teach that to somebody else, which you're supposed to, you're not supposed to sit around and be quiet. So we all have to go out and share the good news, right? So this great deception with alien, the word alien is foreign, right? Something that's foreign dialect, this glossa, tongue, a foreign alien tongue. Well, alien is one of these things where there's this deception. Yeah, I apologize. This freaking notification thing is way crazy. So, kind of like me. So, that's okay. You'd have to be out of your mind to participate in the things of this world. So, I'll be crazy like Noah, and people can do the things that the flesh robs them of their inheritance, their eyes, the two thieves. So, yeah, I've been reading a lot about after this, Shiloh, my kind of, I might overdo it a little bit with the afterlife insurance, but hey, what else is here for me, other than the tree of life, my mother, my brothers and sisters in the narrow way. Everybody else is going to get thrown back into the dirt, from the beginning of the foundation of the world. So what a blessing it is to be in this time. I just hold myself accountable because the measure that he pours out will be just. Don't hide your light. Don't, give that shekel to the rich man because you hid you didn't use what you had. You hid it in a basket. You stored it. You didn't use what you had. So he'll take it from you. So we have to use whatever light we're given and not hide it and go out and share. Don't evil works of darkness, children of darkness, unfruitful works of darkness only takes that to flourish, while good men that stand around and don't do nothing, that's not what we're to do. So thank you, Father, for those that have a voice, for those who can't speak up, those who are in fear, those who are just humble, and those who are just meek and don't participate in these things and weren't given a voice because that is not their measure. We all get a different measure. So he will pour out a just measure on all of us when we return, right? No, when he returns. When we return, when we're all lifted from the ashes and the dust. So they know this. They know that there comes a time where there's going to take evil from the earth. He's going to take this flesh, where there be no flesh for a reign, and they are, whatever. I guess they're just that ignoramus. Evil's that ignorant. They forget that there's that he looses flesh again, and that is evil. That's what evil is, flesh. Evil is this sin to be off the mark from the agape, the shem, and be marked with this world of the dirt, not be from above without flesh. To be born again is not something daily from above daily by taking up our cross. He'll rebuke that evilness that our heart continuously fills with, that we would just continue to sin. We'd be off the mark. We're all workers of iniquity. We can't seem to. I know he didn't get it right, because he said, when I return, nobody will know my Shem, my Agape. So we didn't get this one. He had to make a new one, and I'm glad that he did, because he brought all under this new covenant, all houses, both Jews and Gentiles. So what a blessing it is to know that, not some nonsense, makes no sense religion. Religion is blasphemy. He wrote the letter to the 7 churches, so he doesn't dwell in temples or houses made by hands, or rock, or brick, or block, or stone, or wood, or board, 2x4, 6, 8, barge, or rafter. Not by hands. Not anymore. He fulfilled all that physical. So thank you for that. I mean, 99% of religious people miss that. They're off the mark. They miss the mark because of their iniquity of the world. They don't study the word. They're not covered in it, in his blood, baptized in it, daily crucifixion, daily baptism, daily repentance, daily suffering, endurance, until the last breath, till they throw us in the dirt. So we're all going back to the dirt. That's where everybody came from. This infatuation with gods in the sky. So you make one mistake, you can have your name blotted out. That's the word idolatry. Because light cannot be defiled. He said, I am the Hados, and that is to narrow, to be in the same narrow way. He said, I am the Aletheia. The only way you're going to be in the same narrow way is to define, study cultures, customs, maps, idioms, not idiot, idioms. There's a difference between an idiom and an idiot. 2 different things. Difference between parallel, hados, and parable. Most people, translation and transliteration are 2 different things. Most people, 99%, what comes out of their lips is translation. They're translators, making 99% of their own jots, yods, and tittles, especially when it comes to the aletheia of the gospel, especially this New Testament that we are under. Not of the law, not of flesh, but of spirit, spiritual blood. He said, well, washed clean your garments. I want to find you without blemish. Remember, we're all workers of iniquity, brothers and sisters. Washed clean in the blood of the Lamb. Garments white without blemish in blood. How are you going to make that happen? You have a sacrifice. He fulfilled all the rituals and all the celebrations and all the sacrifices. He was the last sacrifice, hung on a tree. 99% of people think he was hung on a cross. That's the problem with religious people. They don't study anything. Customs, cultures, study all these nonsense religions. You'll find they're all vanity. They're all vain. They're not the true aletheia. Hokodesh, Ruach, Hokodesh, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit. All these things were created with the Word. With the Word. In the beginning was the Word. He is the Word. This is all spoken, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. The love boat. They're going to get in their love boat. There you go. They love their ships. Ross got it. They're agapes. They're space farce, brothers and sisters. They're going to get the boats in the sky. Sky boats. Love boats. The love boat. We even got the little tattoo. The plane, boss. The plane. Oh, wait. That was Fantasy Island. All right. I love it. Somebody who's with the times here. Their love boat. They're going to see their master boat. You know, their big ark in the sky, their halo. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I know they've been scrubbing the skies. You know, they're scrubbing the skies, shiny and new, making it like a brand new mirror in prison. And they're like, come on down. You're going to get raptured. You're going to get raptured. Raptured, boys. Did you go to Rapture, Indiana on April 8th, 2024 last year? Last year? What the hell was 2024? It's 5785. Anyways, such nonsense, such perversion. But the Love Boat guys, they're going to do their boat ritual, their arc. Get on the boat. We're going to Mars. Elon Musk. There's going to be a faction of bots, AI bots, holographic bots, giant bots with meat suits wrapped in holographic flesh. I don't know. Who knows? They're blurring the lines. It's hard to tell if that's P. Diddy. P. Diddy. Oh, wait, that's not Diddy. That's the bath oil parties. Tupac. Maybe that's Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk across stage. Is that a holograph? Or is that some sun god? Remember, the seventh king will be revealed as the eighth king. How much you want to bet it won't? There's no physical anything. If you follow for anything physical, you're an idiot. Yeah, you are. We're not supposed to celebrate anything, especially in the New Year's in the middle of the winter. How ignorant is that? You live in the age of tech. People think a computer can learn. Are you that ignorant? I think you are. So go up into the ships in the sky and go to the boats, right? Boats are ships in space. They fly ships. It's the Love Boat. Go get in the boat. They'll take you to Elon will take you to Mars and go to the God of War. Go for it. You can get on the International Swim Station. I mean, Space Park Station. Mr. Warp Speed. So, remember, these are parables and parallels. These things, you guys, think about it. They're going to pull this ritual. How much better would it be able to have a big love boat, the mothership? Get it? The mothership? The Love Boat. Get it? Their mother. Ross knows what I'm talking about. Their tree of life, the branches. Guys, see, people have seen this for decades now. 30 years ago, I remember people studying, seeing these visions of these love boats that come out of the sky. And they have these ropes or roots. Yeah. Seriously, I told you I've been studying this for at least 30 years. And people have these. I don't sleep like that, so I don't like clocks. Time is irrelevant. Time is not, it's not a matter of life or death. It's not a matter of time. Those are all both an illusion. None of those are real. You've been told a lie. The devil's a deceiver. Time is an illusion. How could there be a beginning if there is no end? Where one door closes, another one opens. So death is not real. And neither is time. They're both an illusion. But in this time and space, if you want to play that, like right here in this time and space, or over here in this time and space, so it's going to be easy to pull off, bro. So it's not going to be hard. It will be like Nimrod but some of these people, because they love their space farce. Their skies, their tree of knowledge is their tree of life is their love boats. Their space, they fly boats in space. Do they not? Space boats? Isn't that what they're called? Am I in some kind of alternative reality? Space boats? Isn't that what they call them? All right, it's 5785. They're space boats. Space boats, right? Space? Like outer? Like rings? Like onion rings? Or like Saturn rings? Outer space? Like outside the ice wall ring? Or another brick in the wall? Or like millimeter wall? Or millimeter ball, Operation Fishball, Operation Love Boat. Oh, look, guys, it's so easy to see what they're going to do. Oh, I love it. Oh, my goodness. I love it. The Love Boat. Come on, guys, get raptured. We're going to do our pit ritual. This is part of the pit ritual, brothers and sisters, that I'm telling you about. Halo, halo. Watch out for the ring around the rosy colored glasses. You got your rose colored glasses, don't you? Oh, man. This is going to be so easy to pull off, guys. 99% of the people on this rock think that God's in the sky, that heaven is above their head, and they believe in aliens. And it doesn't say anywhere in Scripture that Father created one alien. Father created all things, but he didn't create any aliens. What in the hell is that all about? That's the abyss. That's the transgender Jesus, the one who's born on a pole, north and south. He said, I am the horizo, not the north and the south. He is all things, but remember, he said, I am the light, not this false, perverted, hello, I am the divider of the light and the light. Hello, hello, no, I love my pole. Let me go round and round. Let me throw some dollar bills at you. Who do you love? Who do you... It's their mother. It's their tree of life. It's their mothership. It's the space farce. It's the love. They fly boats in space, right? Space boats. That's what they're called. Anybody space boats? Am I getting this wrong? Why is it me? Why am I getting this wrong? Why do I feel like something I'm saying here is wrong? Nobody's frequencing with me. Like anti-gravitics, electrogravitics. Oh, it's not space farce. It's anti-gravitics and magnetics, brothers and sisters. Magnetics. Hello, I've been telling you magnetics and the shifting of the magnetics, the magnetosphere, heliosphere. Sphere is a boat, right? Like a plane. Oh, like a ship. Oh, that's what it is. It's a water ship. They fly firmament ships up there in the sky, right? Sky ships, sky boats. Darn it, I can't seem to get it right. What are these things they're flying up there to Mars? Oh, so are you going to get on the boat? Are you going to fall for it? I believe they're going to be able to do this at a level to where, like, you're not going to see the edge of this thing. It's going to be so massive. It's just going to be the love boat. And there's going to be all kinds of things that are coming out of these. Oh, yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be something you would have never, ever thought about. I know, Father. It's going to be like a Pink Floyd laser light show, let me tell you. Ooh, like when they turn the lights out at a football stadium and everybody gets all mob rolled. Yeah, they're easily swayed. Like... Watch out for the serpent. All right, just messing with you. Hey, watch out. They'll play visual voodoo with you. Be poking at you. Yes. You never know. I got my popcorn. You're not worried. Oh, yeah. Be not. Yes, there we go. See, there'll be no ships in space, brothers and sisters. Ships in space. But they'll get on the boats. On the love boat. Watch this. This makes so much sense because they got payloads up there. I think they'll fund the battery. They'll take the battery up there, kind of like they did in Helene. They'll just plow them into batteries, copper top, lithium, whatever they want. Spin them in circles. Here we go around in circles. Now we got pancakes. Weapons grade. Holy smokes, boys! The smoke pit ritual. Here we come. I'm telling you, this is as plain as the nose on my face. It's just so easy to see. It's quite obvious. The scrubbing of the skies. I didn't quite. Now I know it's multifaceted because we have our, we're getting pounded by solar radiation from the sun. Protons, ionized, deionized gases from the scrubbing off of our magnetic canopy. The dome. Earth. Eternal avatar reality training habitat under the dome. No, just kidding. That's just Bob. But, this atmosphere. That's why the sun's white. It's not rocket science. Rockets. Why do rockets not go straight up? Because they're dropping off payloads for the big show, for the laser light show, for the Star Wars, is what Ronald Reagan called it. Noah's Return of the Jedi. Nuh-uh, it was Empire Strikes Back. Use the Schwartz, Luke. Remember Spaceballs? Yes, did you drop your balls last night, New York? Did you drop your ball? Somebody dropped the ball. I feel it. Somebody dropped the ball in here. Did you celebrate? We're not supposed to celebrate. I couldn't come back in here last night, guys. All these people like Christmas, you know, so disappointed. Not having anybody to celebrate good times. Come on. Right? Seriously. I'm cereal. You're not eating cereal, are you? Stop eating cereal, please. That's like just sugar beets and genetically modified corn syrup. Yeah, most of us, I think we did. I was just feeling so a little overwhelmed last night. Not anxious, but you know what I'm saying? I just like, you know, so many people they get to celebrate with somebody, and I know they're just because they're in this celebrate the new year in the middle of the winter and didn't have anybody to bang pots and pans with, whatever you want to call it. But it is what it is, you know. It's not about that, but it's a good time to point out the obvious, and we should do that every day if we can find the chance. People are celebrating self every day. Cheerios? No, I don't think so. That is disgusting. Look who the maker of that is. General Mills? No, that's all genetically modified wheat. Probably the 4 worst things you could eat right now is wheat, barley, rye, and oats. I can't talk about that. I got to be careful talk about nutrition on this channel. So it's pretty cool. We had Lovejoy come in and said that they were out at their mom's house or something, and they were having a New Year's party, and they were outside because they didn't want to do it, and they were like the outcast. And I thought that was pretty awesome for them to come in here, and they said they were watching the stream. So I wish I could have come back in here, but Father just didn't have it in me. You know, I slept with Father. I just felt the weight of the world with all these people. Felt so much disappointment, you know, because they don't have anybody to spend their time with. It's kind of like a Christmas, you know, crap where people get so disappointed that they can't meet these expectations of these holidays. And, you know, how many people maybe committed, you know, an atrocity last night because they were depressed over something like that, not having somebody to, you know, all these New Year's resolutions that people are going to fail. That's not even the middle of the New Year's, you know. People normally don't keep these things that they say they're going to do. So, yeah, no doubt. That's, you know, what is it? Leave it to Beaver or something, you know. Gee, Wally, a little hard on the Beaver last night. Never mind. But it's just the weight, you know, of people celebrating all this to this New Year's, all this sex and drunkenness and dropping the ball, and just, you know, this nation is an apostate nation with their celebration. New York, Manhattan, you know how I feel about all that. You know, New Year's starting in the middle of the winter is the most apostate. He was born when the sheep were in the field, with the shepherds were in the fields with the sheep at his birth. And so birthing some Catholicism, you know, rebranding of the deadly head wound that was healed is hard for me to. So the New Year's is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? New Year's is just 1 week later. It's another bang ritual, you know, another sex ritual where people go out and have a Mardi Gras and all gather and they ooh and ah and coo, and then they all have, you know, a big smooch and then go bang some more, bang the wife's, you know, boss's wife. And just like Christmas, it's another one of these things, drunkenness and drunk driving and then disappointment. And it's a lot of fake. It's all fake. It's all just, it's fake. The New Year's doesn't start, new life starts in the spring, you know, not in the middle of winter. And that's the perversion of this time that we live under this Gregorian calendar where they've rebranded the sun god in the middle of the winter. That's manger, baby manger Jesus. Baby. Christ was almost 3 years old when they came into Bethlehem after continuing to watch, after watching the king in the morning star birth the age from fire to water, and then birth to king, and then birth. They continued not to fall asleep, but to be wise and continue to watch. And then they later saw what was known as the second, my favorite, I don't know, the Revelation 12, but that's without that sign, he would not, it declared him the high priest of the church, brothers and sisters. To me, there's not a greater sign than that, truly. I mean, Revelation 12, the rebirth in our time, and because he was given that to John and we witnessed it. But Shiloh, and we saw count to Shiloh as Jupiter moved opposition again and pointed to the head of the lion as it did at the time of the wise men, right? The Magi. There were many wise men, and they gave 3 gifts. He was not a baby. He was almost 3 years old when they came into Bethlehem, because they again continued to watch, and they didn't fall asleep. And this made him was what is known as the scepter, the one who became the high priest, because it was Father who was the high priest before the birth of this Vesca Pisces vessel through water, through the Pisces. Melchizedek, that's right. Thank you, Brother Ross. This is a celestial body, the birth in the Virgin, the great apocalypse sign that was given to John at the island of Patmos, not the Baptist, but John that was sent there to the gold mines. And he was given first. Remember, Christ gave that revelation, that sign of the second coming of Christ in the stars. First, he was birthed in the flesh. First in the stars, but of flesh. Second time would be again in the stars. And then again, he gave that second witness to John at the island of Patmos at the gold mines, giving him that great sign of the Virgin, the great sign in the firmament of the Virgin, clothed with the sun, the moon at her feet, and she would have a crown of 12 stars upon her head. She would be in travail in birth, right? Because Jupiter had passed again as the second sign that the Magi saw. They didn't fall asleep. They saw which was known as the Star of David. Because remember, David was the house that Christ was from, the Hamashiach, born of Bethlehem. David was Bethlehem, Christ was Bethlehem. They were both, remember, from the house of David, born of Bethlehem. So we know who we're talking about, some not other Jesus. It's not hard. That's why there is begotten and there's lineage, and we need to know who it's speaking of, because there is more than one Christ, more than one Jesus. Paul warned us, he warned us of many. So there's many who are going to come in his Shem, looking just like him, marrying him, but they're not going to be him. And that's the deception of the world that we live in today. Is the Christ that these people go after is not the Hamashiach that was hung on a tree. Theirs is born in a manger, and that's the Antichrist. That is what is known as the transgender Christ, or the transgender Jesus, because Jesus is not, that it's irrelevant, that it's Shem. When he said, hallowed be thy Shem in the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, which is not in the sky, hallowed be thy name. That means to glorify, lift up. Hosanna, raise up to the highest. Maranatha, until he returns. Shiloh, correct? His Shem, his Agape, this New Testament that we're under, not some 2-letter Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahim, Bahamashiach, none of these. None of these. This is not his name. His name is Shem. His name is Agape. His name is do as I tell you. Walk in my commandments. Be charitable. Be patient. Be patient with me. Be patient with others. Be patient with yourself. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to me. Be kind to others. Love thy enemy like thy love thy neighbor, like thy love thyself. All one, same, nothing, not one above the other under this covenant. 144,000, not 12,001, because of Jeremiah didn't succumb to in Judah, and I'm from the house of Jeremiah. No, I'm the lion from the tribe of Judah. See, you can pin down who Christ is. All these people want to claim, these other Jesus, the great I am. He said, before Abraham was I am. So he was God of wrath, God of sacrifice, God of ritual, God of the Old Testament, God of the Torah. 613 statutes, commandments. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is not a religion. This was known as the Torah. It was the law. It was written in Hebrew, and every word, every jot, every tittle, every yod had value, frequency, wave. Each one had, yes, it meant, and it's all been now translated into Aramaic and then English. That's impossibility. It gets lost in translation. So, the lesson is to study, because he said, I am, before Abraham I was, I am. He's telling you that I am the God without flesh. Remember the scepter sign? The scepter shall not depart from Judah. They continued to watch. He was the lion from the tribe of Judah, born of David. It was the star of David, the star of Bethlehem. Nothing good could come of Nazareth. Why did he not tell him? Now it should make a little more sense, so he can fulfill this covenant of flesh. He knew they would hang him, and it would be a contract, and he would pay. Isn't that beautiful? Prognosko, brothers, sisters. One stone, not one left upon another. All this fulfillment, all this prophecy, the Last Supper. Every single thing he did was, he's so freaking brilliant. It's he cannot sin. He's so, just like the devil, brothers, sisters, very multifaceted. People think that this baby kitty little devil with the red horns is their, that is not who Christ, the Antichrist, doesn't come wearing red leotards, looking like some, I'm going to fool you, elect, by wearing red leotards. He's going to come marrying and performing all the same miracles and wonders that Christ performed. So you better consider everything that's in that book you're going to see come to pass for that great day, for Oligos, as it says in Luke, fear not. And in Matthew, very few, right? Oligos find that are willing to narrow, deny themselves, love his Shem, raise up his Shem, raise up this testament like he was raised on a tree. Conform to my image, he said through Paul. That's the word hados. He said, I am the hados. Remember the great I am? I am the hados. That means to be in the same narrow way. Equal to, not one above another, not hide. That's the Old Testament. God had a high class, a high priest, a high, right? He now is the high priest. Are you still being sleepy there? Are you paying attention? Are you being patient? Did you fall asleep on me? The scepter sign. After the Star of David, the Star of Bethlehem, when we saw the king and the morning star conjunct each other. Lucifer is not the morning star. Venus is the morning star. Lucifer is never written in scripture. That's like a celestial snipe. Anybody want to go snipe hunting with me? That word never existed in scripture. Get that out of your vocabulary, your dialectus, your glossy, your tongue. That word does not exist. People have made up a whole nation of idiots. They're not idiots. They're idolaters. That doesn't have anything to do with the definition. The one that doesn't match the word that was even there, what it replaced. Like the word devil replaced the word demonion, or demon is what they say today. But people don't know what a demon is. Demon was a compliment. Like, what's up, my demon? Now they say, what's up, my OG, or what's up, my ninja, or Monica, or whatever they, There we go. Neither did devil. Thank you. Right on time. Just a replacement, but still meaning the same thing. Because, brothers, sisters, it's a distributor of fortunes or lies. And we've all done it. We've all been demons. That's a false teacher, is a demon. That's what a false teacher is. A false teacher is a demon because they're spreading lies and fortunes to others. That's what a demon is. A demon and an idolater is one who spreads lies and fortunes to self. Demon, idolater. Distribute lies to your eyes and self and fortunes of the dirt, thinking there's gods in the sky. Jupiter's a god, Saturn's a god, Pluto's a god, god of war. God is I am. God doesn't exist in the sky. Heaven is not in the sky. Earth is not below your feet. This is the great deception that we've put under this spell with words. Word salad, word voodoo, visual and verbal voodoo, done while you were a child, get stung you since you went to school. We went to the moon, right? Everybody, we went to the moon. Does everybody knows we went to the moon, right? We ain't been to the moon since 1976. Where's all the billions of dollars, NASA? I don't know. Ask Mr. Operation Paperclip, the head Yahtzee scientist. 1976, Mr. Stinky Muskrat said we lost the tech, just like NASA. Operation Apollo, the sun god to the moon. Huh? 1, 2, and 3. Apollo mission, huh? Here we go again. Nonsense, brother, sister. Space farce. This is what people believe. God's in the sky. We're here again. People believe the same exact thing. Remember? That's not believe, but that's what they do. God's in the sky. Heaven's in the sky. Space farce. Mothership. Get on your boat. Get on the love boat. That's your Agape. You know you like it. You know I'd do it if everybody's doing it. Be like Nike and just do it. Phil Knight. Be like Phil Nike. Go Ducks. I think the Ducks are losing right now, aren't they? To Ohio. 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 Get it? Big O, little O. Omega. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega, he said. The beginning and the end. A to Z. No, A to O. Or you speak Greek or you speak American. Or you speak Babylonian. Or do you speak Jesus? You speak the other Jesus? So remember, did you fall asleep? Were you entertained? See, the wise men, they didn't fall asleep. They continued to watch. When the king in the morning star birthed the age of fire, Father had to birth a sacrificial lamb. So he birthed the only begotten son. The scepter. The scepter, the lion. Woo, the lion, baby. He was Leo. The scepter sign, Leo. Jupiter parked at the head of the lion after moving to opposition. They didn't fall asleep. Did you fall asleep on me? That was it. The Magi. There were many Magi. They didn't fall asleep, but they continued to watch. And that second sign, yes, Christ was almost 3 years old when they came into Bethlehem. Not born in a manger as a baby. That's Satan, the adversary to the Hamashiach, the one born in a manger with 3 genders. Yeah, baby manger Jesus. Catholicism, Christianity, baptism, Mormonism, Catholicism, Calvinism, all these isms. I rebuke all your isms. Your isms are nothing. Their vanity is what they are. They're vain. Oh, take your isms somewhere else, please. There's no isms in here. Get your isms. There's a place for isms. It's called the Hub. Starts with a G. Take your OG demon somewhere else. Right? Jisms are isms. Idioms. All right. Yes. Careful, brothers and sisters. Seriously. This is vanity. They do this over and over. This cycle just repeats itself. There's nothing new under this sun. They ride these celestial cycles. They have hidden it from you. You have no idea what is going on. Like the wise men, they were not sleeping at the wheel. They continue. They were not stirred by the world. Like Noah, they continued to listen to that celestial voice inside their head. Do you understand? And that scepter sign is probably the most important sign I could ever teach you. This is the one that when Father used to visit, obviously without flesh, behind the temple 1 day a year after the sacrificial, out at the altar, the blood sprinkled over the Ark of the Covenant 1 day a year. Light, orizo, that was all destroyed. Do you not understand how beautiful that is? Now he is with you. He used to visit 1 day a year. Now he is inside of you. Christ is in you. He will never leave. He will come back and return and take this flesh and study what happens after that. It's so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've been studying him and just like a madman, probably too much, but that's okay. I'm okay. I'm pacing myself. The marathon is the end, so I'm going to finish strong. So I love it. I do. It's my agape. To think that I'm going to know evil, no darkness. That means no flesh. No more Tracy. None of this stupid nonsense sin. Finally, I could be with Father. Could be with Shiloh. Because remember, you couldn't see him. He is light. He is orizo. He is orizo. He is light. Before Abraham was, I am. That is the Old Testament, brothers and sisters, where the wages of sin was death, pride, one sin, Satan, the adversary, cast from the ruling class to reign dominion over this place. Who's reigning over you? Put your decamite. Let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Who do you love? Who's your agape? Who's your Shem? Seriously, this is very important. You understand the covenant he fulfilled. So we're not under this flesh. It's worthless. There's nothing here. It's all vain. Wrestle not against flesh, Paul said, because he knew that was, his heart was rebuked. A man who was a mass murderer of Christians. And a Pharisee. And he went out and teached. If God can rebuke Paul's heart, there's the thief on the cross. Who are you to say? Go out and spread the news, brothers and sisters. Don't fall asleep. Do you understand what Father did when all those covenants were filled of the Old Testament, brothers and sisters? Of the Old Testament, the physical temple was destroyed. No more coming one day a year. No more physical sacrifice. No more. He became the Last Supper. No more dietary laws. It's not what goes in a man under this covenant. It's what comes out of a man or him or her. You're not going to celebrate anything that's going to get you to the Father. As a matter of fact, he doesn't want you doing any of these things anymore. None of these things. None of them. None of them. These are all vain. Read the book of Jeremiah 10. Prophecy. Remember, he said, I knew you before you were in the womb, just like he knew Esau and he knew Jacob before either one had ever done anything. He said, Jeremiah said it as his prophet, remember? And read the book of Jeremiah 10. Please. It talks about this vanity worship, these wheel worship, all this customs and traditions, because we screw this up. The Hebrew word is froward. We change. Although God did require sacrifice and celebration, eye for an eye, and ritual, and the set apart days, the feast of end gatherings, the feast of tabernacles, the feast of unleavened bread, all these different requirements, the two turtle doves at the altar, the circumcision of the flesh, the water dipping, all these things were part of this Old Testament, but we're not under these anymore, brothers and sisters. He fulfilled all these covenants. That's why they didn't eat crackers and grape juice, brothers and sisters. They ate the sacrificial lamb. He became the last sacrifice. All these traditions, all these rituals, all these celebrations, all these customs, all these traditions are blotted out. All these physical. No more prophecy, no more celebrations, none of this. So, yeah, nothing's happened with Elijah there, Marissa. Nothing, we don't know. He's missing and we don't know where he's at. Last I found out, he was shot in the chest. So, not sure why, and trying to have faith like Daniel. So, don't know. But, yes, thank you. And that wormwood tribulation, thank you, Brother Ross. Much thlipsis, Paul said. Through much thlipsis we must go through to receive this inheritance that Shiloh has presented. So that was the sign, brothers and sisters. You understand what this is? It's like I told my son, Elijah, I said, I'm your dad. I'm not your father. I'm not your father. You're going to have to be there on your own. I might only see my son after he might be dead because he's missing. And he went missing in the middle of a game, game playing, and it was his thing, And so Father has control of all things, especially me right now, because it's the only thing that's keeping my heart settled. But it is what it is. Father, we're still here, and I'm still here, and I'm able to stand, and I shouldn't be standing here. If you go watch the live stream, I shouldn't be standing. I shouldn't be able to connect two sentences together right now. My brain should be scrambled. My eardrum should be completely popped out of my head. I shouldn't be able to see out of this right eye at all. and I still have vision. And although I've suffered a stroke and I'm all, whatever, I'm up, I'm moving around, and I'm still able to sup with my brothers and sisters and fellowship until Father's not done with me yet, apparently. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I appreciate asking, because it's, I know I have a court date coming up, brothers, sisters, coming up on the 6th for a hearing that they don't even have set. There's no hearing because they vacated it, but there's a pretrial hearing in, days, J6, Insurrection Day. So I'm going to have to go with, I don't have counsel again. That one counsel that became my counsel just bowed out immediately because he knew he couldn't take this case. He's from some other 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, guys. And they still haven't prevailed. They swatted this house, caused all this physical damage to my face and to my hearing and my eye. And, again, I don't know what's going on with my eyes growing some other kind of retina now. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's doing something weird, and it'll be all right. I'm still, like I said, look, I can put together sentences. It doesn't even make sense. That concussion grenade should have given me some kind of brain damage. You don't throw that at somebody's face. It's just not meant to be thrown, especially, no hearing protection and no nothing. That was way excessive force, and I'm sure Father will provide. So I wish I knew. I really wish I knew, brothers, sisters, but what am I to do? I can't sit here and, I've tried to locate them. And again, I'll give you a little, I don't want to go off on this. We'll continue on the lesson, but affirmative defense, I'm still have apply my natural organic rights of the land that have always been here. I have the right to, under criminal prosecution, that would be Title 18. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. All criminal statutes are Title 18. I don't care if they're charging you federally with RICO, whatever it is, county, state, whatever criminal charges, that's all under the original Constitution of Title 18. And then you have what is called your Sixth Amendment rights, which is the right to fair trial. There's many rights under your Sixth, but your right to fair, speedy trial and a right to call witness in your favor. Very important. Part of your Miranda rights, if they're going to take you and criminally take your body and prosecute you, they have to have what is called probable cause. They have to show warrant, and they have to call out in that warrant who and where they're going to search, and they have to show that. And there's a purpose to doing these things, and they totally did not do any of these things correctly. They just infringed on my rights from the beginning. I have what is called affirmative defense. A legal definition of affirmative defense would be self-defense, meaning I have what is called justification defense. So does my son. So no matter where he's at, I hope they didn't shoot him again. They obviously came for blood, and they didn't get what they were asking for and what they had hoped. And their evidence that they had used was garbage, and it was 100%. They took evidence and twisted, and that's not that what their evidence isn't 100%. Mr. Werner, what did it say? It said, because I have not all the discovery. See, there's another thing they've trampled on my right of discovery, suppression of evidence. It says that he has arms because I let him know that I have my Second Amendment right. I don't have a record. So I have open carried for many years, and I don't need a weapon, but it's something that I have that right to carry. And at the time, my weapons were stored within the house. They infringed on my Fourth Amendment right multiple times, and I didn't use that and assert that right either. And that's the right to be secure in my house, papers, persons, and effects. And without warrantless search or seizure, you can't come on somebody's property. If you're going to take somebody's body, Mirandize them, accost their body, that means to stop their body and take them in possession of their body, arrest their body. You'll have to, under your Miranda rights, you have to show cause, probable cause. And they didn't on my daughter that day. They didn't have a warrant for their arrest. So the state of Oregon legally, criminally, not legally, because it wasn't legal, illegally, probably not legally, illegally kidnapped my daughter. So they'll all come to one day for their actions. They did most of these things to themselves. Again, with their evidence was that Mr. Werner has arms, and a out-of-state anonymous YouTube caller said that he would fight to the death to keep his son from going to prison. And I did say that, but I never said I would use any Second Amendment. I was always asserting my First Amendment right. And so they took what I said and they made a terrible mistake, because the other thing they said is what I've been teaching is you have the right under the Fourth Amendment to protect yourself. God does not want you. You can go back, and I spent a lot of times, I think I may have overstepped my bounds a little bit, that you can't strike back, but you can't strike back, but you have the right to protect yourself under the Fourth Amendment. That's not breaking this new covenant. He said turn your cheek, but you can't. He's not going to let you get your wife get raped or you get hurt or something. You have the right to protect that is a constitutional protected, God-given, natural, organic right, law of the land. Okay, so nobody can come in just walk all over you. And so that's what I was teaching, that if they said if backed into a corner I would strike. So that's what I said. That's what I've been teaching. Sure. But I didn't strike back. I turned my cheek multiple times. So they came for a gunfight is what they wanted. They wanted a gunfight, hoping to eliminate me out here. And if my son got in the way, they would do the same thing. And I'm pretty certain that's why they shot him. No matter what, they had to get it out of there. I'm so glad that I shut the door behind, after taking 5 tear gas canisters and a concussion grenade to the face. When you go out with your hands up with one in the air with the phone and the other, in the air, you can't have your phone down back towards the door. I didn't shut the door, and I was just beside myself. If the dogs came out, they were going to get shot. So I thought I was going to get stung right there. If you watch the live stream, I tried to make sure it was all documented the way it needed to be documented. I was still trying to play stupid with myself, hearing, my son get shot, not knowing, trying to think and wondering, is he okay? Would they say something? Nobody ever volunteered anything. They just went with it. And that's the same thing they did. I'm pretty sure, again, that there was at least one person or more watching my live stream, because it said they were. They flew drones over this house. They wasted a lot of taxpayers' money. And under affirmative defense, justification defense, and excused defense, I have the right to protect myself from illegal prosecution, my son from illegal prosecution, and that's all I ever did from the beginning, because we have all the evidence. I thought we were innocent until proven guilty. Heck no, they came and caused permanent damage to me. And now it's been 8 months and they haven't provided any legal counsel for me. Not one organization stepped in from an outside source and said, I'm going to help this veteran out. Look at this guy. He was honorably discharged, and they just wrecked his house. You know what I'm saying? They just came in and just wrecked him. His son shot his son, kidnapped his daughter. So I'm sure the state of Oregon, all those people that were here that day, all those 20 plus officers will all do time for kidnapping. And eventually it will come out. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe Trump will take office. Maybe Joe will do something before Trump comes in, and all this stuff will just be shuffled out, because there'll be some whole new system come in. I think that's much more likely than this, because this is going to take me probably about a year or two. And I see a complete change in the whole system in the next year or two. So I won't stop pushing, though, forward, because that's what we're supposed to do. Do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. He stood against the law that was perverted. That's what he did. And I'm standing against the perversion of what they've done to my son and to others, things that they've done, others in the state, others in this little township that I live in. They've really run these people out here ragged for as long as I've been here, and even before. So, I don't have any other way. Father makes me do these things. I've been a pain in there, since I've come out to this valley, because I won't let these farmers who are in cahoots with the cops, who can pay the cops off to do what they want, keep this little town to themselves. And that's what they were hoping for when I moved out here. But they didn't find the oldest clothing on this entire rock right here, an 18,000-year-old camel tooth. They already said Oregon is the oldest place in the Northern Hemisphere, and it'll be sooner or later they announce what this place is. It's just a matter of time. I've already told everybody I know exactly now. I've studied and scoured this rock through all the imagery, everything I could find, and there's not a place like this anywhere else. There's not one that matches it in size or maybe in shape, but not in size. So there's there's an end at this somewhere. Hopefully J6, there's this date coming up where 8 months, there's this new district attorney who's coming in here. So maybe he'll choose to step out and bow down. I'll never stop pursuing a federal case and a criminal, which actually I'm not going to do because I'm smarter than that. I'll go after a civil case and civilly take them as lawsuits, and then that will allow me to go after or criminally prosecute them, because the civil case through my state right in a civil court will allow them to be criminally prosecuted, and I'll go and take their bonds, and then I'll take them to federal court and the Supreme Court. And then hopefully someday this will become case law, where they've trampled on the rights of the residents of the state of Oregon and the people, the residents of Lake County here. This county is so corrupt that we've now lost our dispatch. We don't have any dispatch out here today, starting today, because corruption in this town is so thick. There's more conditional use permits pulled out here, meaning new growth in the last 2 to 3 years, and yet they can't even provide a 911 out here. That's pretty sad because of the corruption that goes on in this county. So I've stood against it. There's a lot of people who love it out here and not bothered by any of this because they don't participate. They don't really speak up, and they disappear behind a sand dune or something like that. And they don't get bothered for years at a time. You drive down the wrong way, somebody will dig a hole out here. That's what the local community page says on the Christmas Valley Community United, all these local pages. Operation Love, I love it. Love Kentucky. Yeah, it's Operation, Love Boat. Everybody's going to get on there. Yeah, no 911 now. 911. Boop, nope, because of that out here. I said that, Mommy, isn't that crazy? And these people sat there and, they did all the Christmas crap. Oh, buy, shop with a cop, da-da-da, but no 911 after. It's okay. Father will take care of all this. I know he will, but I have to be a part of this. Unfortunately, my life in dealing with this doesn't go away. And when you stand up to these people, they will, take it out on other people. And my son has been the blunt end of most of this, of my doing. So that will come out someday, I'm sure. And if not, Father will pour out a just measure on all these people who've done these things to my son and these people in this county and these residents. Imagine just having a hired hitman team that can come out to anybody in your state and just do whatever they will to you. It's 8 months later, and they have had no accountability for literally concussing my face, which I should be deaf. I shouldn't be able to hear. I shouldn't be able to talk. My brain should be scrambled. Only by the Father of the protection. If you want to see the live stream, it's pulled out onto the playlist where they swatted this house. You can see that thing, 45 seconds. They threw a concussion grenade in my face, and that is not how you execute a warrant. They were hoping I would come back out with a gun, because immediately they started tossing, I don't know how much long after. I've watched it a couple of times, and they didn't wait long before they started tossing tear gas canisters in here, knowing that hoping that I would come out with that weapon and go, do what they said I was going to do. Come out with a gun, like they bragged to the local restaurant. Those people up there, those businesses I stood during the COVID, those people didn't know that. And they went up there and ran their mouths about how there was going to be some armed standoff. The people up there want to know what the hell's going on here. We ain't never seen that much SWAT equipment ever out in this valley. What are you guys doing? Holy crap. This is the biggest raid ever, they've ever seen. Little birdies talked and got back to me, and like they were bragging how you were going to come out with this gun and you were going to, fuck you, copper, and make a big deal and fight them. And that's not what they got. And they tried to get me out with even being on my live stream. They hit this house 17 minutes after my head hit the sack, because they were watching it with drones. They were watching my live stream. It's all in their evidence. They said that they tried everything they could do to use without using a use of force incident, and I cannot show one time that they ever even tried not to come SWAT this house. They did nothing to try to prove my son had already done all these community service hours that he said he didn't do. They never even made one attempt. They just went straight to the SWAT warrant, straight to this investigation. So they'll go, this has to be case law. that they can use a little SWAT team on somebody because they were mad at me because I'm a prior special weapons and tactics trained special reaction team. I had my training in Hawaii, where Metro LAPD trains, does all their underground cert with all their, I'm not going to go into, that's where all the training, where I did all my SWAT training. So I went to the Highway Patrol Academy, Oklahoma City, where all my reconstructionist training and my investigation, all that was done through. So they're what I just because I have certification in what they do, I probably have way more certification than most of those officers because the training has gone to crap. I served in the 90s. They got all different kind of training. Things were a lot more hardcore back then than they are now. So, but I never called for any arms. I never said I would shoot anybody. But instead I got shot, with tear gas and hit in the face with, a concussion grenade that's meant to be thrown into a room and concuss 5 or 6 or 7, whoever's in here in this room. Fucking animals, man. Darn it. I cussed. Whatever it is, what it is. I was trying not to do that. But my animals were in here, guys. I was telling them I had animals. I only took tear gas for my animals. I didn't have to do none of this. I didn't have to stand up for my son. Why would I sit there and stand up for my son like that if he didn't do the hours? That'd be stupid. Oh, no, my son didn't do these hours, and I'm just going to hold you from letting you arrest him. Oh, I'm going to hold him, and he didn't do the hours. These people are just... So I know it's Father, so it'll all work itself out, brothers and sisters. I've tried to keep still, try not to curse. I apologize. Try to keep it to a minimum. It is what it is. I have to be like Daniel. I have to understand. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, brothers and sisters. Don't fall asleep. He became the high priest of the church till Shiloh returns. So he is Christ in you. Father, the temple was destroyed. It's all here now. He won't leave you. When he returns, he's going to take this darkness. But until then, we have to suffer. We have to go through tribulation, and each one of us are given a different measure. Maybe because he made me one of these pigs, one of these prior people in government work for this federal government work, being a law enforcement, being in a military, 95 Bravo in the Army, a military pig, military police, that now I have the understanding to stand against this so I can speak and understand, because the boot's been on the other foot, right? On the neck of the nations and, the neck of the people within this, country, so I've had that, like Paul, he did things that were obviously things that he must have weighed very heavy on his heart. And I feel it weighs heavy on my heart often, but I don't have the understanding of who my commander is and why it is that he steers this vessel in my ark. And so I won't get on the love boat, and I won't fall for none of this space farce and warp speed nonsense. It keeps me straight so that I can come out of this and learn. I would probably just fall for the same thing like everybody else. So I thank Father for giving me such a measure, and I hope that I'm living up to this measure, and I'm a living testament of his will and not of my own, and that I'm a representation of what he did. Hados. He stood up to perversion of the law, the halakha and the haggadah, because I understand these teaching of this historical record, biblical record, as well as this constitutional record and law, constitutional, God-given rights, the God-given inalienable rights, the Shem, this new covenant. I am held at a much higher standard myself. He holds me, makes me make sure that I don't slip. I think that's why he made me the scorpizzo in my celestial body, the false teacher. So I would always understand, born in the city of teachers or messengers, messengers in the city in the concrete jungle. And now I go from concrete to the country, out here in the dirt. Although my past might have led from all that war and concrete and death, and I try to avoid that, be more Christ-like, have less and less things. Now I'm trying to give up everything I own and just be a wandering Jew, if you will, spiritual Jew. He was a man of very few things. He went up and teached and spread the good news that all flesh too. He taught it to the apostles, and they went out and spread the good news too, that all flesh would be fulfilled under this covenant. and that it's not just the high priest and Aaron and Levite, that the scepter shall not depart from Judah till Shiloh returns, because he is the high priest of the church now. And he will stand in as our mediator, our attorney, if you will, our counsel. So when I do these things in my life, I always remember my counsel as Father. Yeah, every time I've gone before these courts, these magistrates, I remind myself, I've had witness. I've came on here and told you guys, oh, ye would be without counsel. They'll throw you in front of their magistrates and their synagogues and their men in their black robes. Do not worry about what you shall answer. Give no thought. I will tell you what to say. Give no thought what it is. I will be your words. So I thank Father for always being there, because man, it's hard to go into that place that I know what they're trying to do to me. When I'm not there for me, I'm there for Father, to represent all flesh, not myself, but to sacrifice my own flesh for the will of others. No, for the will of the Father. Not the will of my own and not the will of the others, but the will of Father. That's my son. I told him, like a thief on the cross that day, they swatted the house. And he said, okay, Dad. And he went, hands in the air, and they shot him anyways. So I know Father's in control. I wish I knew where Elijah was, but no matter where he's at, he was a good, honorable young man. And oh, he was a thief. He stole something from somebody in an abandoned building, an empty building. That's not right. He did his time. He's only one of 5 thieves to do any time. I don't know why Father does that to him. The only man to do all his time and then to have to do even more time, and then they still threaten to throw him in prison because his dad. The apple don't fall far from the tree. So my daughter is my concern. They already kidnapped my daughter once, and so she's not to be found either that I can know of, anybody I've been able to have contact with. So I find that very concerning. I know the only thing that's keeping me afloat is my commander. He's the wind in my sail, and he has to tell me, like Daniel, like a magi, pay attention to the markers, Tracy. The scepter shall not depart from Judah till Shiloh returns. You have to endure the end. No matter what I do to you, don't worry about anybody else. Your measure is what you get paid. When you return, that's fine. Go out, share the news. You thought you had the least measure, your measure is different than others. I've set you apart. That's why I made you a filthy pig. So you'd be able to tell people, don't sup with pigs. Don't cast your pearls in the mud before swine. So please come out of her. Stop doing these traditions of men, these celebrations and these things, taxation. It's overdone. This country is an apostasy to the New Testament. We have 1,000+ military bases in over 180 countries. That's not under this new covenant. That's an apostasy. So I declare that. And I thank you, Father, for making me a part of this apostate beast system. So at least I could have the shoe on the other foot and understand what it's be like to throw somebody in a cage without a victim. That's hard to swallow now, what I did. But at least now I understand what I did was wrong. And I can declare now that this is still being done in a much larger fashion. So I'm thankful Father makes me very aware of my inalienable, natural, organic rights, laws of the land that have always been here. My constitutionally protected rights. And then most importantly, this covenant, which is not a law, but a spiritual testament. And I must be a spiritual testament, a spiritual walking, living, new living will, bride testament of his living will and faith. Here we go again, some ISIS. So, well, guess what? We got our own ISIS, Debbie. It's called private contractors, people like myself, trained killers they hire to go do the bidding of America, not under the name of the United States Army, United States Marines, or the United States Navy or Air Force, but private contractors. We got our own ISIS. Mujahideen, same thing. We paid them. We've been paying them since what, the 70s, 60s, 50s. They're paid mercenaries. They'll put whatever flavor, hat, color you want. You ever notice they're all wearing the same outfit? I wonder who pays them. Why are they all wearing the same uniform? Gee, I wonder. So, you know what I'm saying? So, paid, we got our own ISIS in America. So, we take them overseas. Guys like me, veterans, trained killers, and pay them. Hey, you'll get paid 100 times, 300 times as much. You'll work with better equipment and nobody will know what you're doing. Just go do the same thing. Don't ask questions. You'll talk about it when you get back. Instead, they'll call it the rear, but not as a private contractor. But same thing. But that sucks because that means the government's up to something again. Because that's, there's no such thing as taxpayer, funded, right? There's only people, no government funded, taxpayer funded is what it is, right? People funded is by the taxpayers. The taxpayers are, no such thing as government funding. So it's kind of a shame. I figure it would be too long before we say that. They do these cycles. They play these cycles of fear cycles. Where was ISIS all along? I thought Trump took care of all of ISIS. I thought it was ISIL, the Islamic State, Israeli Levant, ISIS, Israel, ISIS. That's who ISIS is. ISIS is Israel, just in case you want to know. Some physical thugs going outside their borders, and just like America, we're all part of the same apostate, So doesn't surprise me, not even one bit. I told people, they just play it in the news. So how much you want to bet those are paid mercenaries, government-funded mercenaries? Oh my gosh, ISIS is going to get us. I thought Ebola. I thought we were all going to die from my Ebola. No, ISIS is going to get us all. Kim Jong-un was going to, But thanks for the update. I understand they do these things in cycles. What about the fog? It's getting quite silly to watch some of these things that they're doing, but it's just part of their well, there's a eugenics program going on. You know what eugenics is? Do you know what the TED Talk is? So they plan on going back to those 500 million people that it said on those guide stones that they smashed the gas pedal down on. Red Kachina, Blue Kachina, silver's like gold. So, hey, you better subscribe to my backup channel, Silver's Like Gold. It is the backup channel of this channel. Yep, Nano Diamond Dust. Smart Dust. It's smart. It doesn't learn. It's programmed like a virus, like a computer virus. So please, the channel went down, and as of now, Silver's Like Gold to be the backup channel. I don't have a backup channel for this. I can't get into many of my old channels are locked up that I've done from, Truth Viral is at least 10 years or more older, and America Ever After, that's older than that channel. I have channels, like I said, from a dozen years ago or something on this platform, but when you've done this as long as I have on this platform, they tend to shadow ban you, and so you might want to subscribe to the backup channel, Silver's Like Gold, and we'll make that for now the backup channel. And if for some reason I slip up and say something, because they took me down for listening to music, obviously, and I knew that, and I don't know why I just didn't take it down, but then they got me for speaking about Mr. Warp Speed with his Operation Beer Bug. Remember that one, the Great Cornholio? Remember? Operation Roll Up Your Sleever. Speaking of, I need to take this coat off here because I'm getting a little warm here. Oh. I got the wood stove going. We got some of that. Oh, you better be careful too with some of that global warming goodness. out here in the desert. I wonder if I got a smaller hat. There we go. I'll just put up this one. Okay. So we didn't get a bunch of sun today. Badman Orange? Uh-oh, Mr. Badman Orange. Look at Mr. Kitty Boy. He's got to get right in my way. Mr. Big Kitty Boy. He's got to come get in the way. He's hanging out with the dad. He's hanging out with the dad. Mr. Banner Boy. He's a good boy. He's hanging out with dad. Say hi, buddy. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, buddy. I love him, guy. He's my oldest one out here. He's the one that's been out here the longest now. He takes care of all the mice. Got no mice out here. And he's just a doll. He's such a good guy. He's such a good painter boy. He's getting better about Dad picking him up. He used to not so much, but he's been spending more time in the winter time. So I love him. He's my guy. So he's a good kid. Yeah, he's quite the fluffy guy. You gotta sit over here with the other puppy. Not Mr. Panter Boy. This is Pants, and that's Panter. This is the other boy. He's gonna go over there and get behind the other puppy and not care. Oh, you just kissed me. Now go on. I don't want any kisses. Go. Yucky puppy kisses. No kisses. Oh my gosh, he's going crazy. He's going nuts. He's losing his mind. Oh no, he's going crazy. He's crazy like Dad. Are you crazy like your dad? Oh, Panters, Mr. Pants. The other puppy went over the other kitten laid over there. See? He's just part of the puppy parade. If he knows you're talking about him, he won't put his ears down. What are you whining about? What's wrong with you? Aren't you getting enough love out here? You're not warm enough? Are you not warm enough? Huh? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Nothing. Just hanging out with a dad. Yeah. Oh, he was a dad. What a lover. He's such a good boy. He's a good boy. He just wants some love for a minute, guys. Just let me give some love and he'll be okay. He don't need a lot of love. The other guy, he needs love all the time. He's like having a wife or a girlfriend. This guy, not so much. He's a good one. Oh, you're such a handsome guy. Mr. Panner Boy. Mr. Boy. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, him's the dingo boy. You got both your collars on? He's got a couple different names. No kisses. Don't you try to. He's going to try to sneak a kiss. He's pretty sneaky. He'll play sneaky just enough to get a kiss, and he's thinking about it. I can tell. Nah. You keep your tongue in your mouth. Yeah, he's a good boy. All right, you're overtaking me, man. You got to get out from in front of me. You can't get in front of the screen now. You can't get in front of Dad. Nope. No. Oh. See that? You just gave me a kiss. Yes, you did. No, you did. You can't give Dad kisses. I don't want to smell like puppies. No! Look at that, how smooth he is. He's a smooth operator. Could you have any more personality, puppy? Oh, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. He don't want to put his ears up. He has the most beautiful ears, but if he knows you're talking about him, he won't put them up. You're so silly, dog. You're such a silly guy. Yeah, these puppies. I'm so lucky to have these guys. So, yeah, and then Mr. Bennett, he's still right. Hey, get back. Get back. Get back. So, he's out. Did you see that? See how fast he is? You better stop that. No kisses. No kisses. No kisses. No. Did you see that? He's such a rascal. You're such a rascal. I'm so thankful. He's such a good puppy. I'm so lucky to have him. Again, he stayed here the whole time, and he watched the kitties while the door was open. The door was left open when Dad got locked in the clink, and he stayed here, and he didn't let the kitties get out. He made sure the kitties stayed inside, so the kitties were in here, didn't wander off. He did a good job. Yes, him did a good job. He did. He did a good one. He did a good job. He's the one I love. Yeah, he's so much fun. He really is a neat dog. He's he's reincarnated from the old dog that ended up Owen was his original body that he incarnated. So crazy, has the same exact markings I've showed you guys pretty much. He has the Merrill now, but never seen a dog. I've raised dogs, bred dogs, never had a dog with this personality, but he has the same exact personality as his old body did. And except for he can play with his brother now. They used to fight a lot. Not all the time, but a lot, because not with any other dogs, only with each other. Brothers, they weighed almost identical, about 135, 136, 137, 138 pounds when they were in their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, forget how many years. I think Bone was 7 or 8. Yeah, like 8 or something years old, 7 or 8 years old when he passed in his old body. So, but it's the same dog reincarnated. He has the same exact markings on his, like a little V on his butt, and this whole, it's so weird. But dogs don't go to heaven because they can't sin, so they don't need judgment. So they just reincarnate here over and over. We need judgment, and then we reincarnate in our new body. So, oh, you're not one of those people who believes in reincarnation, do you? Well, what happens when you don't get a new body? You're going to go back to the abyss, or maybe you don't really need a body because a body is just temporary. How many bodies do you think you've had in your eternal lifetime? I know I've had too many. I don't remember anything, not even a flash in the pan, but I know that this ain't my first rodeo. So I don't ever die. Death is an illusion. It is. Time is an illusion. Death is only a matter of time and space, right? Uh-oh, you're not one of those who believes in Jiminy Cricket, Walt Disney, a conscience, right? You got a conscience? A conscience? What is that? That is pretty funny. Too much Walt Disney, too much television for you. Listen here, Aladdin. You're an Arab genie. Free Diddy? Uh-oh. Somebody went to the bath party. That's the wrong kind of oil. Christ tried to put up oil. Yes, nothing new under this sun. Cyclical. Time is an illusion. Time never ends. Time wraps itself like a serpent, the Ouroboros eating itself. Time. The Ouroboros. Or eternal time with a twist. See what I'm saying? Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what time we got here? I don't know. What time is it? Doesn't matter what time it is. Time is an illusion. So, how long have you been here on this rock? How many times have you been here? There'll come a time, though. because there is a sounding a cosmos. You know what a cosmos means? Cosmos. Cosmos is an orderly arrangements, an orderly arrangement of seven seals, seven sounds, seven shofars, seven trumpets shall sound. There'll be a final shofar. That is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. That's it. That's the final shofar, that's where all, since the beginning of time, will pass through the book of judgments. Everybody that's ever walked this rock, no matter how many lifetimes you've lived, you'll face judgments at one time. Heaven's not in the sky. You don't worship a sky daddy God, do you? God's not in the sky. God's never been in the sky. Uh-oh. I think we have some pagans in here. Wait, maybe you're Satanists. Do you eat crackers and grape juice and celebrate the birth of the sun god in the middle of the New Year's in the winter? Winter? New Year's in the middle of the winter? Where in the world is the New Year start in the middle of the winter? Never heard anything like that before. That don't make any sense. New Year's starts when new life starts. Why would New Year's start in the middle of the winter? It's interesting. These people make up their own version of this time. Oh, it does say something about that in scripture, that the devil would be able to change times. Oh, wow. What do you know? We're here. That's been going on for how long? Oh, it would be Greece, the Grecian, Gregorian, lunar, pagan, lunar, aligning the lunar calendar with their pagan to create the Gregorian, Grecian 5785? No, 2024? 2025? What does that mean? There was AD and BC. What the FU? Or what the F's up? I mean, apologize, but born in the middle of the winter, STFU. That's not Christ. He was born when the sheep were in the field, when the shepherds were in the field with the sheep. The sheep get put up in October, November, December. Now it's January? January? What is that? You mean Giannis? Giannis, the two-faced God? Like 52 weeks in a year, like 12 months, like 52 pickup cards in a deck, 2 jokers. I think the joke's on you, Jack. Jokers are wild, remember? They trump all the other cards. The final shofar, the final trump. What do you know? It's like they're going by the script. Or they're going by the stars. As is above, so is below. Hey, bro, yeah. So we're going to celebrate the birth of the sun god in the middle of the winter, call him Jesus, and then bang after an orgy for a week with man, beast, and woman. We're going to bang, well, the boss's wife at the New Year's party. And have a drunken Mardi Gras, a one-nighter. Somebody dropped more than their pants last night, huh? Somebody dropped their balls or their ball in Manhattan. Remember the apple? Did you take a bite out of the apple? Who told you were naked? It's pretty sick, brothers and sisters, what they've done to this. And people just love it. Just love it, love it, love it. They did. People went out there and partied in waves and droves. Hey! Somebody get me another martini here. I'm feeling lucky, punk. Oh, no. Thank you, Stoner Connection. Are you out of mind? The shepherds were in the field with the sheep at the time of the Hamashiach was born. This is a ludicrousy, brothers, sisters. This is their sun worship. This is their alignment. This is a good time to be speaking up. Today is the opportune time to go out and share the perversion of this time on their orgy lunatic calendar, where they celebrate the birth of the sun god in the middle of the winter and have a bang orgy ritual, crackers and grape juice. Sugar, 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 sugar. Makes you acidic. Sugar might as well be labeled with skull and bones, 32 crossbones. Thank you. Only get one time a year. Thank you. Anybody erased any sheep? Man, I got to re-upload Henry, man. That sheep was such an awesome, he was such a cool sheep. This dog chased the sheep out here, guys. Henry would chase the sheep. I got to go find that. That's on Silver's Light Gold. I know it's on the Silver's Light Gold channel. Go see Henry chasing the dogs out here. Most farmers have problems chasing their dogs, chasing their sheep, because they just love to work, and sometimes they get out and just whatever. They don't hurt them, but they just hurt them. You know, not hurt, but hurt them. So, yeah, what is up with this? The shepherds so the sheep out here. Oh, hold on, my kitty wants out. My kitten boy. My boy. My kitten boy. Get over there, Mr. Pants. So it's a good opportune time, guys, to speak up about this perverted calendar that these people are so easily to shut up about in their sugar holidays, one after the other, either drunken holidays or perverted dates, where they don't have anything to do with anything in Scripture. They're not biblical in any nature. Most of these things were added by Catholicism. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just a rebranding of Christianity, where they blend pagan gods with sun gods and blend man and beast and start creating all this perversion. Like at the time of Noah, we're here again. Yeah, younger generation, you better use your tools. You're not born in a generation where you had to walk on foot for all day to hear a man like myself teach you the gospel, and they were giving you some watered down version of the word. You have all this technology at your fingertips, so your generation is much wiser in many ways. I don't understand. Like, you can walk up to a radio. My son does it, that I can't get the clock to change, and he just goes right up to it, and I look through the book, I can't get it to do anything, and then he's got it in a matter of minutes. You know, they'll walk up to a VCR that's been blinking for 20 years and program it. You guys don't need an instruction book, so you're very intelligent. Don't let anybody tell that these younger generations are, some of them are very lost, but some of them are very brilliant. And I don't mean like that, but they're just, to be born in this time is a very hard time. I grew up in a time where a man's income could feed the whole household, and not that old, but you know, it went a long way. $100 bill, you can get groceries back and get a whole cart full of real food, not all this box bag and canned crap. Real meat, real cheeses, real vegetables, not grown in Florida, decorated. Still get some money to go to the drive-in, and so you guys are held to a higher standard. I think Father is going to hold you guys a little bit higher because you're accountable. You have this information age, but I know that some of you are so smart with it that you can use. He's like this. He's like, there you go, Dad. And then he's like, hey, here you go. Like, what the hell? That thing changes colors? He's like, yeah, watch this. I'm like, multiple colors? Yeah, Dad. You just go like, Whoa! See, guys, I don't know how they do this. They don't need any instructions. These younger generations are very brilliant. Did you hear what I just said? They make it go from blinking the thing and the date and the time to making it change colors. I didn't even know it did that. I didn't even see that in the instruction book. See? So don't pass anything up on these younger generations, brothers and sisters. They're very much wiser than people who are much older, because we're all eternal. We're all eternal. So don't look at a man by his age or a woman and think that because they're, I know people are much more celestially and eternally mature and biblically and spiritually mature and historically mature than most adults. I met some dogs smarter than people I know, but please don't throw these younger generations. Imagine growing up where a college degree don't get you nothing but debt alone, basically what these people take for that don't do nothing for you. That's no guarantee. Back when I grew up, a college degree guaranteed you a good job, a nice house, and some not struggling now anymore. Don't mean there's more people standing in the unemployment line who have college degrees than don't. So I feel very responsible for this generation, these younger generations. We should have taken this licking financially, but instead we let these presidents spend their money now, and these future generations and their generations and generations in the future have no, they come out in debt with the massive amount of debt they even brought into this world. So we failed the younger generations, and if we don't take care of these younger generations, nobody going to be there to wipe our butt when we can't. So take care of these younger generations. They're the future. They truly are. There are some of them, like I said, they're absolutely brilliant. They are much more mature than some of these older people I've ever met. They're very brilliant. God put them here for a special time too, very unique time. And I think that, again, growing up in a world where you really have no guarantee of the whole world's falling apart around you, you're at war, this must be a very hard time to be young. It must be a very hard time when you really don't have a guarantee of. The average home in Bend, Oregon sold, every third home sold for $1 million. How do you come up with that kind of money? Every third home sold for $1 million at Bend, Oregon. The average home price is $800,000. You ain't making that doing Uber Eats. You ain't doing no school loan. It's incredible what these younger generations, I don't know how they even get up every day and what they would strive for. There used to be something to work for in this country. And I'm not saying to give up any kind, because some of them are brilliant. They go into computer programming and many things. They don't have to be, anything. They're good at what they do. But I just feel just beside myself as an adult that wow, that's very reasonable connection. It really is. That's just unbelievable. In Bend, Oregon, it's $1,250. It's $1,000 to stay in somebody's room without even having your own bathroom, like a shared bathroom and a kitchenette. That's where this just breaks my heart, guys. A room in America now in many states is $1,000 for somebody's room because people are just trying to get by. So, you know what I say? Not to not listen to your elders. What's that? Zlani? Can't read your name there. Apologize. My right eye's all messed up. But you have to hope that there's some of us that still care about what, these older generations still care about every younger generation that's born, knowing that you'll be the ones that are the future of this country, the future of our nations, the future of this whole rock. And that if we don't take care of the people that are younger, they're not going to take care of us. And I don't blame you younger generations for not liking the older generations very much. We threw you under the bus so we can live the lifestyle, so we can have all it, we can have it now. And your generations are screwed, and I'm going to be honest with you. So not totally, but we did it to you. Don't give up hope. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up hope because you're so brilliant. You'll see things that our generation. This is why I miss my son so much. I need his brain. He thinks things I would never, ever, 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 ever in my mind think of. Well, Dad, you don't use what I say. Well, I still don't want to shut you out, though, son. Sometimes I listen to him, but not most times. But I still want his opinion because he will think of something that I never, ever would have discovered, even in my mind, in a million years, because I'm not that generation. So we need all these generations. God did not birth these generations for no reason, you know. So they will create a way out of this because their minds aren't corrupted by all these things of the past. That's what's brilliant about the innocence about some of these younger generations are not corrupted. They haven't been programmed. They haven't been like we have. And their minds will not already, many of them don't want this system, and they're already making ways and new ways around the system. Some of the younger generations are truly some of the most brilliant minds on this rock too. So never, ever, ever throw any generation, I don't care what they are, Z, X, whatever. They all have a very unique time and place. And so I do think that our younger generations, especially when we go back, when we come back in our new bodies, I'm telling you, the infants will be the ones that rule this world. Listen to me just for a minute. The infancy and the innocence will rule this new world. After everybody's burnt with fire, we come back. I can see in the way it's written that there'll be elders. They'll make sure that nothing has changed, and it will be the innocence of the children, and I mean the infancy, that will control this rock, because there are children that are dying right now on this rock, and that's because of a poor mismanagement by adults. And the younger minds are so brilliant, brothers and sisters. In the future, they will shape the future. Shape the future. Everything will be shaped off of them. We will watch their minds, and whatever they say, that was how the future will shape, to make sure that no child ever goes hungry again. Starting from the innocence. We failed this covenant, brothers and sisters. So I can see through reading the New Testament, seeing in this new world, how this innocence, if it's the innocence that are going to truly get us out of this mess that we got them into, you know what I'm saying? I'm see what it's seeing, huh? So just hear me out. In the new world, in this new age where there's this new Shem, this new Agape, he said, I return, no one will know my name. I'll make a new name and a new Agape and a new Shem. We failed the most innocent people on this rock right now. 8 families have almost 50% of this rock's wealth right now as children die in the streets. I'll make you a friend wager, because there's no such thing as luck, but how much you want to bet that don't happen in this new world ever again? Not for a long time will we ever see anything of the sort. The innocence will shape the new world, brothers and sisters. And I mean infancy. He said you must be like a child to return to the Father without judgment. Innocent like a child. So you want to see what the new world looks like? To be with Father, you must be innocent as a child, he said. So that's what will shape this new world. So for now, you should look around and see how we have failed these new generations. And that's crazy, because these are the ones that are going to end up wiping our butts later. And if we don't take care of them, they're not going to be there to take care of us. And if they don't take care of us from this point on and throw us to the wayside, I wouldn't. It is what it is. Father will pour out a just measure on us, but I just really feel as if these so I appreciate all people, young and old, brothers, sisters, who all serve a purpose. Don't give up on the elders too. Some of us elders are really trying for the younger generations, knowing that no matter how long we're here, no matter how bad it gets, there will be people who always will do more than just survive, but thrive in this environment, because it's their opportunity to not rise and shine above others, but their moment to shine in history. And they will serve their purpose. And I think that these younger generations are absolutely brilliant. I've seen some of them, and their energy is fabulous because they're so innocent. And they don't want none of this system. They want nothing to do with it. And they're finding ways around it already. And that's beautiful, because that is the new world. Like I said, ways around this system without doing riches. They found other ways to make it work. There are many of them out there, brothers and sisters, not by number, but there are many of them that have found other ways around this system. And that's the future of this country. It truly is. If we stand any chance of ever having a future, it's going to be going back to the old ways. And I think that's where some of these younger generations see that already. They don't do the system. They live a whole completely different life. They don't live by a clock. A lot of them don't. They don't punch a time clock. They make up their own time. They become very masters of their own time and space and place. And they have a lot more time than most of these worker bees. And that's brilliant, if you ask me. They're actually getting to enjoy this time and space that they're here. And they really don't look at a lot of these things as a threat to them, because they're not partaking in it. So that's where I see some of these younger minds are really understanding that this future is going to be away from a lot of this tech. Although that many are going to the tech side, many of them are figuring out a way around that too. So let's not give up on our younger generations, brothers and sisters, because no matter what, we need to teach them the skill set of the ways of old, so that no matter what happens at any time, this sun can knock out our grid and knock down our technology. And it's going to be those old ways that are going to truly help these younger generations too. And I think a lot of them will just rise to the occasion, because we're all eternal and their instincts will kick in. Like a bird doesn't need to be told to fly south for the winter. And a chipmunk got a brain the size of a pea. Nobody needs to tell it to put up nuts for the winter, huh? And who's nuts now? So some of them, again, I think I appreciate the question. I hope that I don't mean to be so long-winded, but I just feel so hard. It's just in shambles, knowing that these younger generations, we had so much to look forward to, knowing that there was a way, so many options. I could be this, I could do this, I could start this, I could do this. Where do they go from here now? Where do you go when they print $1 trillion every 100 days in America, when you're born into a country that has you bear a debt as soon as you're born? So hopefully, I think that gentleman there, young man, said he was from Morocco or something. So hopefully his government is not burdening their residents of that, country with such unsustainable debt, that, nice, in the van by the river. There we go. That's hopefully me in the van by the river, guys, chilling by the lake, catching lake trout, or hopefully not planting or something natural in that lake. So what do we got here? 4 o'clock. I don't see it. So anyways, let's you think Trump's going to take office? I'm not going to be political here, but you think they're going to come up with some kind of fake national emergency before Trump gets inaugurated? Before the 20th, we've got 19 days. They could run this administration out for a long time if they wanted to. Nice. So I really feel like this tech is going to come so hard and fast. You know what I'm saying? So hard and fast. People aren't ready for the tech. They're just not. They've held it back for so many years. So they're going to go ahead and do this all, I believe, in a one sweep. You know, it might take years, just like this last event. Took years to finally get through it, you know, but once they turn this on, it's not going to turn off. We're long for the days we could sit on here on the internet and sup with each other like this. You know, I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing, but I don't think it's going to be as easy. You're not going to have the time and the, you know, you'll really think back to the time that you had a lot of time to get yourself prepared. So it isn't going to be the end of the world, but I do believe that the end of this corporation called America is over, and they're going to digitize and digitally track and trace every asset class to include, you know what I'm saying? Including you. They want to credit score you. They'll give you free stuff if you'll go by the system. If you go along with this new digitally ball and chain, you know, let them credit score you. Keep you in one of their smart cities after they scare the living crap out of you and make you get in a bowl. Because the mothership's taking people. And there's good ones and bad ones. All this stuff is going to happen. I know it. I just feel it. They've been putting in every movie, television, radio, animation. It's in everything. Remember, as soon as they do that, Executive Order 11004 allows the Emergency Management Agency to relocate whole communities. You know, when they pass these executive orders, when they declare a national emergency, the Emergency Management Agency federal takes over, and the current president, commander-in-chief, steps down. Did you know that? So that means that Trump won't be the president anymore? No, he'll be standing down. Nobody's talking about that. What other YouTube channel has told you that? I don't know one. I told you that as Truth Viral Television over, what is almost a dozen years ago, during the old vomit administration, where he put out those 923 executive orders to keep referring you back to that. I can't get in there and upload that. I tried to upload that video. I mean, the only other thing I could do is maybe I should just do a download where I take it off and crudely do it with my phone or something. Maybe I'll do that. But little thin pretzels, little baby ones. Everyone's thin. Oh, yeah. I was telling everybody before Edward Snowden ever said anything that they were watching us. That dude was so late to the game. Edward Snowden. Anyways. But. So be ready for Operation Love Boat. Nobody else has said this on the internet. Father gives us all a measure. You're hearing it here. The love boat is the scrubbing of the skies. Everybody's belief in the boat. Everybody believes that there's boats up there in the sky, right? They fly boats. Space boats. Space boats. In the sky. Above your head. So if they can scrub the sky with enough aluminum, they can polish this atmosphere, upper atmosphere, our stratosphere, our upper low Earth orbit. So I don't know how to do that. So, but I sent you the warning about what they were going to do. And then they did it the very next administration. And they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. If they can have 98% of the people thinking that heaven is above their head, heaven is above their head when heaven isn't above your head. In the book of Genesis, when God created heaven and earth, that's not above your head or below your feet. But 99% of the world thinks that's where heaven is at. Yep. So if you can scrub the upper atmosphere and turn it into a mirror, you could have a laser light show. And you could project Project Love Boat onto the upper atmosphere. Project Fishbowl. Operation Mockingbird, Operation Nanook, Operation Paperclip, Operation Blue Book. Just the tip of the iceberg, brothers and sisters. Just the tip of what they're going to do. Operation Love Boat is something that I want you to understand. They're going to this ship. But I don't think any of us are going to be able to see the whole thing at one time. There we go. The great deception we've always been hearing about for a long time. Some of us for decades have been talking about this great deception. Here we go. A projection. Off the dome. See it? Space farce. There we go. Guys, come on. It should be so obvious. They've been dropping payloads up there. All these rockets go like this. They don't just go straight up. They go like this. Dropping off payloads for later to do for their big show. They've been prepping this guy since the 80s, guys. Remember what Ronald Reagan said? I often wondered if there was an outside influence, how we'd all come together. Remember Mr. Star Wars with his Star Wars program? What was going on before then, brothers and sisters? But I'm trying to bring you up to speed here. Now it's Starlink. There we go. It's all part of the same big top circus. The big top. Starlink, starlight, starlight, so bright. First star in the sky I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might. I wish upon this star. Yeah, wishes, huh? Airplanes? Wasn't that a Bob song? So, we're going to expose this pit ritual. This is just part of the pit ritual, but Operation Love Boat is something we're going to uncover this. We're going to uncover this starship, this space boat they've got up there, their love boat, that they're going to put above our heads, which is just a projection. I'm telling you, it's all holographic. The one I'm talking about be 100% holographic. 100%. You won't be able to see the edge of it, is what I'm saying. I've in my head, I'm starting to see how they're going to do this. Because they got everybody think they're spinning around on a ball. Yep. In the spinning ball camp. I don't want to hear flatter around. I don't want to hear none of that crap. Don't talk about where you're putting where your hexagon peg and whose octagon hole. Keep your, your shapes to yourself. But this is quite obvious. If they've got 99% of the world thinking that dead people go to the sky, heaven's in the sky, and God's in the sky, then they're going to believe in some alien. And there's nowhere in scripture does it say there's ever one alien created. And that is what this deception is giving you the alien technology, just like they did during World War II. They already did this once. That's why I'm not making a prediction. They did the same exact thing during World War II. So there's no prediction here. They're going to do the same game. They're going to run the same exact game on you, but a much larger scale this time. Remember, the fallen gave them the technology. Shut the fuck up with that crap. Stop it. Fallen. Oh, here we go again with your nonsense. A fallen angel is not in the sky. An angel is the word angelos, or messenger. An angel doesn't have wings, you idiot. See? So, Operation Love Boat is the holographic image that they're going to project over every nation to appear to be one love, one boat, one mother tree, one mother ship, one love boat. Everybody sees it. You can only get to the edge of it. And out of the center comes all these supposed, oh yeah, it's going to be amazing. Just like a ring. And it'll be all, everybody will have their part up in the sky. Just like the sun goes around. It's like the moon goes around. Yeah. You ever notice that's how this is all set up? Fantasy Island. Yeah, they played, boss. They played, boss. They played. Tattoo. Somebody's got this. Thanks, Jeff, for being so aware of what I'm saying here. Thanks for not making me feel so alien. Right? You know, I feel so. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I've been trying to figure out. Remember, I have a camera trailer tattooed right there on my arm. I don't have a chemtrailer for no reason. I didn't tattoo that on my body. Oh, there's the great red eclipse. See that chemtrailer? Notice that's in a blue sky in the daytime with the day moon. Who in the hell do you know that has a chemtrailer tattooed on their body? So, this is part of this. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. There's the mothership. Nanu. Signs in the stars. Signs in the sun. Signs in the moon. So, obviously, these people have been alienated by false vocabulary, too much television, too much work from work, too much nanu, too much Star Trek, too much Space Force, too much Spaceballs, too much Paramount Pictures presents, Universal Studios presents, Visual Voodoo, predictive programming. Since you were a child, they've been doing this to you. Telling you lies, putting you in school. Yep. I want to fake rapture, guys. Think about how many people believe in a rapture. That's how they disappear. A bunch of fake Christians. Bye-bye, batteries in the sky. I got to power this system somehow. Human-powered? I know they're sick, aren't they? You better read what the word says. Father's going to allow all these things to happen. It's man who's going to create most of these things. God creates all things, but man's going to do most of them. Anything man made, God created all things. It's just man living out self or children of darkness, unfruitful works of darkness. has to be the dark side under this covenant. He'll take the darkness, but not until he burns this place with fire. So we're going to see all these things come to pass. So Operation Love Boat is the uncovering of their love boat, because it only makes sense why they were scrubbing the skies with all this chemtrailing to wax the skies to make it like a mirror finish, so they can Starlink that satellite imagery up on top and have P. Diddy bath oil parties or something. I don't know. Maybe Pen Island man will come back to life or something. It'll be the Epstein Antichrist. I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I'm just saying. Oh, anyways, don't fall for none of this, brothers, sisters. This is all. It's not only the mothership, but it's these giants that'll be running around. It'll be as in the days of Noah. Arks, ships, arks, massive ships. There were giants in the land when Noah was here. Look for giants. They're probably just big DARPA robots, holographic images. Very hard to tell the difference between a DARPA or a Boston Dynamic robot. 50, 60 foot tall robots. I think I don't watch television, but they do all kinds of kids movies about this, cartoons. They've done movies about this too. Oh, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, baby. They'll have robot wars. Good ones against bad ones. Are you ready? It's going to be quite entertaining. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'll go back and be here. Yep. So, Jeff, listen. Shh. Hey, quiet in the background. Who's talking in the background? I'm talking to Jeff. Listen, Jeff, if he opens up the sky like a scroll and the pit opens up, imagine how big the oxygen, how high the oxygen levels will be when we come back next time. The firmament fell. All this oil, bones don't turn to oil, do they? Well, there must have been hella stegosaurus there, huh? We ain't run out of oil yet, but the compression event, the outgassing of Saturn. Well, if he's going to lift it again, remember he lowered it last time. This time it's the lifting, the raising of the thoracic spine, the Jedi. Use the Force, Luke. Skywalker or Anakin? So, Jesus has sent by an angel. And the root of the offspring of David, and the bright in the morning star. I am. Remember? The morning, because he rises. He is the brightest. And he's out the brightest, and he's out the longest. He is Melchizedek. He is Jupiter. That conjuncted with the morning star Venus. Imagine that. What do you know? Are you serious? Like the dog star? No, that's Cirrus. Just kidding. No, I'm not joking. But anyways, listen, it's very important, brothers and sisters, that we pay attention right now, because they're going to sit there and they're going to do this ritual. And if they got 99% of the people thinking that God's in the sky, just like in the time of Christ, and that's the reason why God forced his bride, because they thought gods were in the sky, and idolatry, we made it. So it'll be as in the days of Noah. And then remember his apostles pulled him to the side, and they asked him, they said, tell us what it'll be of the second coming of Christ, the sign of your coming, the second coming. Not the Noah sign, like nothing was happening. They were going along and marrying, giving unto marriage, building, partying, and going out to buy a Tesla and put some money in Bitcoin. And that came upon him like a thief in the night, didn't it? Caught him unaware. Noah, have you ever read, like, Remember that door slammed shut? So, in the days of Noah, there were giants in the land. If that book says every jot and every tittle will come to pass, how much you want to make a friendly wager? Because there's no such thing as luck that there'll be giants in the land before the second coming of Christ. That was the first time. Remember when his apostles pulled him to the side and asked him what would be the second sign? It wasn't the Noah sign, as nothing was happening. And it come upon him suddenly. He said, be sure that no man deceive you. The love boat. Spray enough aluminum in the sky, you'll make a mirror. Wait till they turn the lights out. Then it's going to light up. Uh-oh, this is starting to feel Operation Jade Helm. Oh, they've been doing this for a while, haven't they? They've been prepping everybody, brothers, sisters. Please be ready, be relocated. Please be ready. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Shaq and Michael Jordan and Looney Tunes and Marvin the Martian. It's in everything, brothers, sisters. Looney Tunes, huh? Werner Brothers. That's with an A, not an E. He is Swiss. It's Werner, not Warner. Like Werner Rondon? Oh, no. Yes, see, Stoner understands. Stoner's been locked up in a prison. No, he hasn't. I'm just kidding. But Stoner is what I'm talking about. In a prison. They're going to send you to prison. They're trying to send me to prison. I don't care. Felonies. Whatever. You can't have a glass mirror in prison because they'll make a shank. So they have aluminum, and you could polish aluminum where you can brush your teeth. In aluminum mirror. Polished like aluminum. Like chrome. If you polish the sky enough, you could project an image on that Alzheimer's, onset to early Alzheimer's aluminum. It's like you're showering pepper. Showering pepper, people with bullshit, are getting peppered with crap, right? Oh, here we go with some of these ites. Satellites. Meteorites. Really? How about old satellites or just meteorites? Comets? No comment. No need for concern. So, Stoner, if the pit opened up, from below your feet, Al-Qaeda, and the skies rolled back like a scroll, what would the oxygen levels be on this rock? I bet they even higher than they've ever been. Maybe. We'll see how high he lifts this. There'll be a lifting. Shiloh, the Mass, the Return, the Resurrection, Elijah, Jonah, Lazarus, Predestination. The great and dreadful day of the Lord. The seventh shofar. The dead raised out of the ashes and the dust. I'll bet you he'll give this earth enough time, because he's going to burn everything with fire. And it's going to go back to like it was in the days of Eden in the garden, where the trees reach the top of into the sky. And I don't teach much of this because I don't speak out of anything other than the New Testament, the Old. But remember, it talks about in Enoch where they cut down the trees. Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. It's going to happen again. I live where there was a grove, one of the largest groves on this rock. On this rock, we're here. When the liquefaction event happens, the waters above, the firmament says the waters above and the waters below. When that inner earth, when our atmosphere pinches down like it's going to do, it's going to shoot that water. Like it says in the book of Enoch, when the mountains turn to fountains. And they're going to electrify all at the same time. They're going to hit the top of the stratosphere. They're going to branch out. They're going to look just like a tree. Lightning takes the path of least resistance, just like water. Notice a river looks just like a lightning bolt. They both take the path of least resistance. You ever can believe in a petrified forest, can't believe in a petrified person? A petrified tree. So imagine that hitting the top of the stratosphere, all that liquid, stoner, all that liquid, earth, hot, not magma, but hot liquid earth. And then it electrifies. Then it electrifies and it forms that basalt. Basalt. We've got them all over this rock. They're not just here where I'm at, but largest grove of trees were right here. Right where I'm at. The oldest clothing on this rock was found right here. They found an 18,000-year-old camel tooth in Riley. So this place has that biblical. This place is known for having a lost tribe of red-headed giants that roam this valley, if you want to look up what this place is. So imagine all this inner earth hitting the top of the stratosphere and immediately electrifying, because if you ever seen a volcano, electric comes out of a volcano. So imagine that all electrifying and petrifying. So if you can imagine a tree petrified that hit the top of the stratosphere, when all that liquid hits the top, it's going to electrify. Imagine a big pole, if you will. Our stratosphere is 180,000 feet. That's the top of our atmosphere. 180,000 feet to the top of the stratosphere. And that's when he says the skies will roll back. That's what's going to roll back, because that magnetosphere is going to roll back and that stratosphere is going to open up. And imagine the liquid that's below our feet, because it says the water's below and the water's above. And all the mud and all that liquid and all that stuff that's talking about, you're talking about alchemy and all those things as well. Everything coming from the solar wind can be found coming from the sun. All our elements on the periodic table, so you know, can be found coming from the wind, from the solar wind, from the sun. Gee, I wonder how all that gets here. So, as is above, so is below. Imagine columns, because there's not just one place. So, imagine, above sea level, because look how below the sea, some of the lowest places like the Mariana Trench and stuff, whatnot, brother, sister. So, if you look at some of these cycles that have happened with the raising and the lowering of our oceans, this is exactly what I'm talking about as well. This is when these events happen too. I've been talking about a lifting event. So you're going to find that some of these events didn't happen during that pinching, did it? But we did have the largest water event ever on the East Coast. I didn't get that one wrong, did I? Man, I wish some people would have moved out here from North Carolina and stuff. That is what it is. But this event, brothers and sisters, again, is something that's cyclical. It has everything to do with our magnetosphere. And when that sky rolls back like a scroll, this upper atmosphere is going to open up, and this lower earth is going to get squeezed just like it did in the 1800s in this cycle. And it's going to shoot that inner earth up, and it's going to hit the top of our stratosphere. It's going to electrify. And when it hits the top of that stratosphere, if you ever seen like Honga Tonga that went off, hit the top of it mushroom clouds off. Imagine that all being liquid. And then electrifying at the same time. It would look exactly like a tree. And it would come off the top, and it would branch out and come down and have this big canopy. of nothing but electrified branches. And that's what I plan on coming back to after about 6,000 years, when everything's rebirthed here and everything's brand new again. So, no, nothing's happened. My son didn't show up to his trial. He's missing. He has been gone since September, which makes no sense because he was on the phone in October. So I don't know what's going on. So, but anyways, Stoner, if you could, thanks for asking me. If you can imagine that, that's what I see the future. So for about 6,000 years, you're not going to need a body. Nope. You're not going to get a body that go to the abyss. And to be with Father, he's pure light. This flesh would not get. No, it wouldn't. He's pure light. Haven't you ever watched the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark? Are you referring to me to a movie? Well, they'll give you a tell. So if we come back, imagine it'd take about 6,000 years for this earth. After burning everything with fire, about 6,000 years, everything will be here again. Be just like brand new, just like a brand new reset, like they've been telling you it's going to happen. If that makes sense. So imagine columns coming back, this earth being just like it was again. There's no sin here. There's no sin, just like in the beginning. Again, here we go. No sin, just like in the beginning in the garden. Again, here we go. Nothing new under the sun. So we already have this basalt columns all over this rock, and they're all flattened off, they're all cut off. We've had major floods. We've had major ice ages that have scrubbed this rock clean of a lot of these columns and things that were here. I've got one right out behind my house, and all the columns still stands right behind it. Right next to it, I've shown you. That's what Table Rock is. So they're all over out here. There's a grove of them. Fort Rock, all those groves. There's a massive grove out here. It's not the Lost Forest, but the Hopi talked about this place. A giant grove of trees. It's here. This is the place they talk about. Again, the oldest clothing on this rock was found right here. Multiple sets of shoes, clothing, sandals. Not just one set, multiple sets. I don't think there's anything on this rock that predates where I sit right now today. Honestly, I don't. They spoke 13 tongues in this valley. This place was popping the most. So these tables are what were at one time basalt columns. Now you got to matter for every one of these columns that come up and branch out down below the earth, just like a tree, is going to have that same column that goes down into the chasms into the inner earth. As is above, so is below. And that is the abyss. Talks about that in Baron the Time Traveler, Baron Trump the Time Traveler, about the underworld, where the people have forgotten their own name, even how to speak. They know this. I know this. I'm millions of years old. I don't ever end. So I shouldn't speak too much out of hand here, but it's okay. Father will throw me in the pit, right? If I blaspheme any of his words. So I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of hell. The only thing I fear is the Lord, that I'm not doing this correctly. I have to come back and be ruled and not be with Shiloh and not get to be here until he releases evil again. And I have to come back and be about 775,000 feet tall. I don't know. How about 75,000 feet? If the stratosphere is 180 and 300 below sea level at the Mirror, then maybe feet tall. That's pretty big of you, Tracy. I know I'm UGE, huh? I'm huge. Well, if the levels of oh, come on, guys. Dogs, man. Oh, that dog just ripped right through there. You just tore the stream down, Pants. So, uh-oh. What happened to my light? Oh, there we go. Oh! It's my new studio light. There we go. You guys can see my face. So, hey, all right, guys. And then there was light. So, hi, kids. Hey, I'm gonna get off here, guys. I hope you see what's coming. Operation Love Boat. The Love Boat. Are you gonna get on the Love Boat? Go take your space farce, your trip to outer space. Slime creatures from outer space. So, all right, much love, brothers and sisters. A little future tense, man. A lot of this is in scripture, though. I hope you see what they got coming. Magnetosphere, atmosphere. Won't this be an exciting time to come back in about 6,000 years and it'd be all brand new again? Imagine how beautiful if this be untouched by any human hands. How beautiful when he takes evil from this earth. See? It's going to be awesome. We'll be here in spirit together, brothers and sisters. I hope you're ready to be with me in spirit because I ain't going to possess flesh. Not that I think of, not by my study. So come back again. I'll try to come back again when I can. And stay in the word. Come back, put a thumbs up on that thing for me. Hit that one time. Make sure you come back, subscribe to this channel for me. Often people get unsubscribed quite often to the channel. We hear that through the moderators. Maybe I'll be on here before the end of the night-ish. Maybe I won't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why I live out here. This property looks like a John Wayne movie out here. So anyways, much agape and flail. I'll be back again. Subscribe to the backup channel, Silver's Light Gold. You never know. My mouth might run a little bit too far and they might take it down again. We do have a strike that would make it go down for at least a couple weeks. So subscribe to Silver Light Golds. And if you want to leave some ching or change, or maybe a Bitcoin, I have a PayPal and a Bitcoin Cash App and regular Cash App in the bio. So that's there. It's always there if you want to. And I haven't gotten anything. I got a super chat, but I haven't gotten any super chats in a couple, 2-3 months. I think it's been since I've gotten any money off super chats. But that's okay, or at least a payout, because you have to make at least $100, and then they take a bunch from it too. So, but don't worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, it's not about that. It's just there if you have an abundance. You know, maybe you hit it big or something like. I don't know. Don't worry about it. It's not about that. Anyways, come back when you have more time, and I appreciate all the time that you gave. And we'll see you again on the next broadcast. I'm going to probably do a similar broadcast next time, this Operation Love Boat. There's not another blogger talking about this pit ritual. So please be ready. You know what I'm saying? Please be ready. You know, this is how you're going to have treasure beyond things you could ever measure if you'll just get away from chaos. And I don't think you participate. There'll be things just laying around, abundance. People are just going to leave things behind. They're just not going to be ready for what's coming. They'll be overtaken like a thief in the night. So be ready and be wise, and then be ready to help other people when you can. Get ready, brothers, sisters. This is an amazing time. If he tells us to be charitable, I think he's wanting you to have some extra things, right? If he tells you to be charitable, that must mean you need to have things to be able to give to other people, correct? Can't give to others unless you have charity, right? Does that make sense? To be charitable, I mean, you can give the word too. I'm not just, the word is what he's selling you more than anything, but you have to, for most people to win, when somebody's reaching out to somebody and lifting somebody up, both people win, correct? Not just the person who's being lifted up, but God likes us to be charitable. So it's a win-win situation. So get your oil ready to help other virgins that are foolish. This time, I believe the foolish virgins are going to be fed. Maybe there'll be extra bread and extra fish. How did he do that? Gee, I wonder. It's like he knows where to put everything in time and place and space on where he wants it. He'll give the woman, his bride, the wings of an angel. She'll flee to the wilderness, which is the desert. The desert? Yep. And she'll be given the safety. So I hope you're in your place where you want to be. So don't go there afterwards, because the door will slam shut like at the virgins and like Noah. Don't be on the other side of that door. Don't be going back to your store and be a foolish virgin. Be a wise virgin so you can help another brother out. So go help people in your area, okay? And I'll see you again when you can come out and help another brother again by coming up, and iron sharpens iron, and sharing the gospel with others here on this channel. So much agape and phileo. I'll see you again. Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Welcome to the new age. Whoa.